Welcome to Redvee TV's preview show, supported by A-Star Recruitment for the 2019 season, as we look ahead to round 2 away at Wakefield Trinity on Sunday. It seems an awful long time since the Wigan game last week, doesn't it?
It does, yeah. Yeah.
10-day turnaround after the game last Thursday, and then after Sunday, a couple of weeks without a game.
Yeah.
So, squad news?
Yeah, just one change from the 19 that was named prior to the Wigan game, and that is James Bentley replaces Jack Ashworth. Jack Ashworth has actually been named in Lee's 19-man squad as part of the dual reg. He's been named alongside Aaron Smith and Matty Costello, and obviously Luke Douglas is there on a month's loan.
So obviously with the 10-day turnaround after Wigan, and obviously the couple of weeks off afterwards, Justin Holbrook has decided no need to employ any sort of squad rotation at this stage of the season. All the players still fresh. And after the performance against Wigan, which, as I think you put earlier on the Twitter, apart from a barge over try and a length of the field intercept, we weren't troubled by the so-called champions.
No,
so-called, they are champions.
No, that's it. I thought we were in control for most of the game. I think I said on the instant fan reaction that 12 flattered them, and I'd stick by that.
And let's be honest, the barge over try came on the back of a penalty that they milked.
Yeah,
where we were going the other way for Coot.
And you see people all the time like putting on social media, you don't want our players diving, and you see that, and they're making the most of it.
It's worrying how that crept into the game.
Yeah, it is creeping in. It's creeping in probably for all teams as well.
And I think at every single play the ball now, there is not one clean ruck. Everyone is trying to milk a penalty.
Yeah.
Every single time. And it gets boring after a while.
Yeah, I mean, in every sport, you're going to go for that extra 1%. So whether it's you milk a penalty or you put your hand on the ball and try and make it look like a loose carry, it's always going to happen. Getting back to the Wigan game, I don't think they bothered us. I think defensively we were sound. It's always not going to be your best performance. It was a good performance. But first up, you're not going to have the perfect performance, are you? You're just going to have a game that you want to get through. You want to get the 2 points on the board, 4 points ahead of Wigan. Already. That's what you want to do, and we've gone out and been ultra professional and done that.
Now obviously again, Danny Richardson named in the 19, but personally I cannot see Justin Holbrook changing that lineup at all. After there was debate before the game whether Theo Farge or Danny Richardson should get the nod, but he scooped the man of the match squad, did Theo Farge. The Redvee man of the match was the most prestigious one.
Yeah.
Thanks to one of our followers for saying how he'll be clearing the mantelpiece for it. We do appreciate that. Thank you for your support. He's not going to drop Theo Farge, is he? And he's definitely not going to drop Johnny Lomax.
No, absolutely not. You'd imagine that he'll roll with a very similar 17, if not the same 17. In the halves, I think it's one of those that people want to see Danny Richardson play, and we're amongst them, because Danny Richardson is a talent. But Theo's been given his chance. I think he deserves that kind of couple of game run, and it's a shame with the week off that we're going to have next week. That couple of game run, really to cement him and Johnny Lomax as a partnership and see how that works. Everyone will get the chance this season. This is Theo's chance. And
I think equally, it won't just be a straight Richardson for Farge swap when it comes. Yeah. I think sometimes you may see Farge and Richardson. You may see Lomax and Richardson.
Yeah.
You may see Lomax Richardson with Farge playing at 9. Give James Roby a rest, because at the end of the day we can't keep flogging him. Especially when we've got him for another good couple of years.
Yeah.
So we've said it, and it's going to be our catchphrase this season: horses for courses.
Yeah.
James Bentley, he's replaced Jack Ashworth in the 19. Is that a case of just because Jack Ashworth's gone out to get game time, or is it a case of keeping these squad players around the squad and making sure that they're on a match day? So obviously, like James Bentley will be probably on the field pre-game, involved in the warm up. Just get them into the warm, like the mentality of what's it like on game day.
Yeah, I think a little bit of both. I know one of our Twitter followers had said they're worrying that Jack Ashworth's slipping down the pecking order. I don't think so. He's gone and turned in a man of the match performance against Lee, got the sponsors man of the match. I think it's vital for him, because he's missed so much with injury, for him to actually be out there playing. Now, he might only get 20-30 minutes. I know the interchanges have all changed, but he might not get that long playing for Saints. But going out and playing for Lee, he's going in pretty much, I think, as Lee have asked for a certain type of player going over them.
You probably look at Jack Ashworth, and he's played a lot of academy rugby.
Yeah.
But has he ever, at any point in his career, played week in, week out in a first team.
Yeah. Well, exactly.
So obviously it's to get his body accustomed to it and playing against grown men essentially, because you're not getting that in the academy.
Absolutely, and Bentley possibly so. Keep him round the 19, keep him interested, keep him hungry. You never know what could happen. If someone goes down with a bit of a knock or a little bit of an illness or something, you're straight in. So it's good for his development, and I'm sure that we've said it in the past. Zeb Tyer's not getting any younger. Louis McCarthy-Scarsbrook isn't getting any younger. These are the future. They will get the chance.
In the forwards, Luke Thompson and Alex Walmsley started the game against Wigan. Do you feel we dropped off a little bit when they went off the field, and can you see maybe rotating that round a little bit this week and just trying a different combination, maybe having maybe one of the two and one to come on afterwards?
I'd like to see that. I'd like to see if it makes a difference. Definitely think that we need at least one of them on the field at all times. They're kind of the leaders, aren't they? They're the ones who are going to punch holes in the defence. So I'd like to see it. And again, we'll go back to social media. Our followers kind of want to see. Our followers have identified it as an issue that they think's there. I'm quite happy to see that.
Wakefield, they opened their season up last week away at London. Went down to a defeat. That's probably one of the 3 wins I said London will gain this season. I'm going to be proved to be wrong by about week 4, aren't I? I was quite shocked by that. Maybe London buoyed by being back in Super League and a bit like a cup mentality with the performance maybe, but I was shocked Wakefield went there and lost last week. Back on home soil this week. Now, every year, I think I use the cliche as well, that Wakefield's a really difficult place for us to go. I was compiling the all-time stats record for Wakefield, which we'll post in one of the previews. If anybody wants to look at it, with highlights from all our previous games there since 2012. We don't lose there that often. I was shocked. I thought we'd lost at Wakefield more often than we have.
Yeah, I think we lost the first game of last year that we played against them. And then you go back to 2012, I think it is, for our last defeat. So
maybe it's not as unhappy a hunting ground as we might like to think of. At times, maybe the memory grows hazy. I think after a few beers in the Wakefield flats.
I think it is a tough place to go still. I mean, it's one of them old world grounds that you do like still seeing about, but the view. Well, yeah, because I love Castleford.
I love Castleford away, but not Wakefield.
Yeah, well, I suppose so. Since they moved us from behind.
At least Castleford's got proper stands. I know it's got one open end, but Wakefield it's just a mishmash, isn't it, with the corrugated iron roofing parts and.
Well, so it is.
Soon they need to move.
Yeah, they do. But it's still good going to somewhere like that that's a bit hostile. A little bit different to what players will be used to. You can imagine like the changing rooms are dead small and everything about it just is one of them, you know what, I don't fancy going to Wakefield compared to going to like Hull or Wigan or somewhere like that that's got relatively new facilities. I think it was a surprise as well, Wakefield getting beat by London, but it was a game that London should target. First one in, hit them and then turn around and go, right, we've got a win on the board. That takes the pressure off for a couple of weeks.
All that said, what is your prediction for Wakefield?
I think we'll win. I think we'll win the game. I think we'll win by 12.
I'm going to go for Saints by 14, I think. If you can get over there on Sunday, I'm sure all Saints fans will try their best to. The boys will appreciate your support. If you can't be there, the commentary will be on wishfm.net on the TuneIn app, and you'll also be able to access the Wish FM commentary via the Redvee website. If you just go to redvee.net and click on the Wish FM link, the commentary will start playing. It's not on FM on Sunday, it is online only, and you can listen to the dulcet tones of Chris Price. Not me. Other news this week, Joe Batchelor, sponsored by the Jared Songsters. I haven't been paid for that either. Yeah, Joe Batchelor, sponsored by the Jared Songsters for the 2019 season, has gone on loan to the York City Knights.
Yeah.
You surprised by that a little bit?
No, not really. Not.
I assume he'd be training all week still with Saints.
Yeah,
and then just going up there on game day.
Yeah, you'd think that he would. He'll be involved in a little bit of their training, but doing the majority of it down at Saints. I think it's a good move for him to get game time and then it's almost like it puts him kind of a step ahead. And we've just mentioned James Bentley, but if he's had 3 games, I think he's not eligible this weekend, but he's got Barrow, Bradford and Lee, which could see him face up against some of his Saints teammates as well.
Could you look at it, maybe it's a case of, because Saints haven't got a game next week, it's a chance to get him out there.
Great opportunity to get him out there.
Get him up to speed.
I'd love to know how the dual reg with Lee works, whether they ask for a certain player and they don't want a second rower. So sending him out on loan to York, where he knows the system, he knows how they play, gives him a bit of confidence, gets him some rugby under his belt. I think it's a good move.
I wonder, again, I don't know the dual reg rules, but what would happen if he was on loan at York, the month loan finishes, and York are playing Lee the week after, and he goes on dual reg to Lee? Does he play against York?
Yeah. I'd have thought so.
Yeah, and this is why...
It's probably why they're a farce.
Yeah, and this is why we need reserve rugby.
Yes.
But obviously Saints were one of only a couple of clubs who said they would play. And that's why it's not happened, so hey-ho. Hopefully that'll get sorted next year or the year after. Any other surprise news this week? Anything you're shocked about? Ben Barber?
Not shocked, a bit disappointed that it's all come out.
Obviously,
yeah,
you can't condone what's happened.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. 100% you cannot condone what he's done.
That being said, without it going through any sort of judicial system, I'm a bit shocked that the NRL have chose to ban him for life, and the RFL have been so quick to jump on the bandwagon.
Yeah, you did. Well, that's it.
I'm not entirely sure how it would go down with employment law if he came over here and a club wants to register him. On what basis would they have the ban?
Well, unless
he's not been convicted of anything. If he was entitled to a visa, are you restricting someone's right to work in the country?
Possibly, but does this?
But will clubs even challenge it and even go for it?
You're just one day you're gonna interrupt me one more time, aren't you?
But I'm throwing the questions. I'm generating a debate for you. I'm trying to get that mind of yours ticking. And do you know what? It's like monkeys scratching the behinds in there. Tell you what.
Speak for yourself.
Sugar rush.
I suppose it's one of them, as I've been trying to say for the past 5 minutes. They upheld the 12-game ban for his drug misdemeanor over in the NRL. Would it be the same? So I know it's ifs and buts.
But that was a factual situation. He was convicted of.
But that's it. I'm surprised there's not been a due process yet, or we've not heard about a due process of him being hauled up in front of a disciplinary, in front of the NRL, and then that happening. I imagine something like that should and probably would still happen.
You would imagine somebody at some point will challenge it.
Oh, absolutely.
And it'll be somebody who's struggling, who think they can get around it. I don't know. Do you know what? It's just a crying shame that the current Man of Steel and such a fantastic player won't be seen on a rugby field again, potentially.
It is, but as we've said at the start, you can't condone what he's done, and he needs to, by doing something like that, if it's the full letter of the law that he gets taken out of the game, then you've got to live with your actions. Yeah, and I think you've got to see consistency as well. I'd love to see consistency, and there's plenty that you could point out who are playing in Super League, have played in Super League
and the NRL,
and have played representative rugby that you could turn around and say they should have been dealt with harder. Listen, if this is the first one, so be it.
If it happened in this country, would the RFL have been so strong straight away?
I'm not entirely sure they would have.
No. Right then, Sunday. We hope to see you all at Wakefield. Instant fan reaction will be online just after 5 PM. Kev might have had a drink. You having a drink Sunday?
Nope.
Oh, it might be a sober one then.
School day.
Oh, right. So, yeah, Sunday, wait the next day. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe on the YouTube channel so that our videos pop up. And share away on Twitter and Facebook. And we will see you Sunday.